You know, I've just realized that my whole life, from the start, we've been conditioned to think like an average, to act like an average. And that's how we became an average guy. But what's annoying the most is people around us are so comfortable being average. That's the annoying part for me. Why are they so comfortable? And this comfort of being surrounded by average people hypnotize you to be average as well somehow. And once you transform yourself to change, to do something so different, to act differently, like they punish you, the average society punish you, laughing at you or whatever it is, thinks it's funny, thinks it's not gonna work. And that's the craziest part, is that con- we are being conditioned to be average, you know like if most of us, the reality is most of us came from like a middle income family are average family, poor family are below average, and wealthy family are above average. But most of us are usually, you're probably watching, are middle income families. So you think to act like in the middle incomes kind of bracket, and it's an average bracket. And I realize, when I try to do something different and I intently doing something different, like there's like a paradigm shift going on. Like paradigm shift, what I mean is like, whoa, do people really think this way? Do people act this way? Like, are their whole life just to be an average guy with limitation, without any specialties, without any kind of things that makes them unique than other people, and they're so comfortable with it. And it's crazy when I first time view it, when I first time see it, because once you on a different paradigm, it's just trying to pull you back on that average paradigm again. And sometimes you get stuck and then you bounce back up. But when you bounce back up, it's trying to pull you back. It's trying to pull you back to that average life, the average paradigm, the average conditions that make you an average person. And that's the thing. Like, this is why what I found quite unique is that people at the top are have been conditioned to stay in the top because they act like people in the top, and people in the bottom are conditioned to be at the bottom and stays at the bottom because they to act and destined to be, and their action make them destined to be at the bottom, and also as the average as well. So yeah, it's like conditioning, bro. Like you realize that reasons wealthy people just thinks that being wealthy is normal because they are being conditioned to be wealthy. They're surrounded by wealthy people who thinks wealthy, who act like a wealthy person, who do something that is related to wealth. And average people do vice versa, the same, do average things and act average. And when you try to change that paradigm, trying to act differently, like resistance trying to pull you back. And this is why, like, being disconnected to people is so important in order to change that type of, stop being average and start advancing somewhere. But it's gonna be a lonely journey. I understand it's gonna be a lonely journey. In fact, I'm on my lonely journey right now as well. But I realize that it's so important because if I don't change my conditions, my surrounding, and disconnect to people who stays on that average bracket, things like an average act average, I'm gonna stay there. So I need to disconnect with them. And when I disconnect at the start, it's lonely as fuck, bro. Because no one thinks like that. No one act like you act, when you start changing things. And that's the first time experience I faced, but I realized it's worth it. I think I love it because, you know, you start to attract different people as well. Once you do something different, like there's a reason why people who plays video games meet people with who plays video games as well, because they play video games. And there's a real there's a reason why wealthy people hang out with around wealthy people, and that's why they're wealthy. Like those video gamers are in the forum of games, hang out with meet up with people who are gamers as well. And people who are wealthy and rich also meet up with rich people as well. It's like you started to attract them when you stop when you start doing something different. But at the start, you realize that it's a fucking lonely journey. But as time goes by, I try to do different things and stick with it consistently. I start to attract people with the same kind of mindset. It's just works in wonder. It works both way. It can attracts the positive and also the negative. So you do something negative, your habit is negative, you attract the same negative people. You smoke crack, marijuana, you're probably gonna buy from people who sell marijuana, and at the same time you meet at the people who also buy marijuana. So it attracts the same. That's the beautiful things. It's like it's actually the law of attraction as well. But at the beginning, you pro I okay, it's gonna felt discomfort because it's lonely, and it puts you down, like it puts you doubts. That's the reason. It like, does it gonna work? Is it gonna, like, you're gonna start to think like that, start to ask questions, doubts, full of doubts. But once you stick with it, consistent with it, like you started to attract people who are in the same path. That's what I come to realize. So if you watch this video, stop being fucking average, bro. And you need to be brave to not be average. You can not be average or stay average. You're gonna change things. And you need to be brave and you need to be consistent. That's what I've done. I started to attract people who now actually is a business partner of me, because we have the same vision somehow, like by accident. you know I call this guy, and this guy give reference to this guy, and this also guy give reference to that guy, which later on become my business partner, and we're doing well right now as far as it goes, and I hope it goes, and I think, and I will, and I believe that it will go well because we have the same vision. And yeah, stop being a fucking average, bro. You can do it. You have to believe in yourself as well. Change yourself. Stop being average. Start to self develop yourself.